All right, pleased to welcome in now Baylor softball coach Glenn Moore. Saw him last night. He and his team all dressed up, man, for the Golden Bruisers. Thanks for your time. And wasn't that a cool event last night, the Golden Bruisers?
It was a great event. It's always good to get the athletic teams together. They're always going their separate ways. And, I'm sure they interact a lot more than we know in classes and on campus. But it's just nice to get everybody together and not at the best time with finals. And boy, they look a lot different whenever they clean up, don't they?
They clean up really well. They do. Your team was very impressive. I think we've got a picture. Here's your team picture from last night. Oh, my gosh. Look at that. Glenn, you got to be proud.
I don't recognize them, John.
Yeah. But congratulations to the success of your team that was, pointed out last night, and fun to have them there, and just fun to have all the teams together in a different setting. It's different than seeing you at practice or seeing you at a game.
Yeah, it is. And, behind the scenes, what these kids are really like, the fans, and, most of the time, the ones that are closer to the program see a different side of them. But most of the time, they just see what they can do on the field. And these are real people that are, fighting their way through the college days and trying to have a social life outside of athletics, and, really proud of what they do really well in the classroom. The GPAs for the teams are just astonishing to me, that they can maintain 3.2s and 5s and things like that while they're playing a sport all during the year, and the demands that puts on them, very impressive for the Baylor athletes.
It's very impressive, and just shows how good they are at time management, and being committed to not only playing well, but doing the work in the classroom also.
It also is a shout out to our academic services at Baylor as well, because I've been on a few trips with Ty and his recruiting ventures, and I know that we do it as well, if not better than anybody, especially when it comes to providing assistance and tutors and guidance through their curriculum as well. And it's always been very impressive to me the way Baylor handles their business when it comes to academics and the importance thereof.
Very good. We still have student athletes. Some places maybe don't anymore, but we have student athletes. Congratulations to you being selected into the NCAA tournament field, headed to Austin to play on Friday. Congratulations. You were right on that line looking at your RPI, but man, overall, your strength of schedule, it got you in, didn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy how it works, John. I'm so proud for the girls. It's been a bumpy year, of course, and feel like we've been through the meat grinder the last 2 weeks with Oklahoma State, well, even back to Texas State and Oklahoma State, and then playing Texas Tech, ranked number 2 in some polls in the nation 4 times in a row, and did manage to get one win out of that. But yeah, to see the girls rewarded, I think the strength of schedule did it. We're number 10 in the country out of 320 teams. We had the 10th toughest schedule in the country, and you got to stay above 500. That scared us for a little while, especially we lost some players. We lost our top hitter in Carrington Dawson. We lost our number 1 pitcher at the time. Hopefully she's back. Not sure to what degree, but for the postseason, and Cambry Krieger. And then we lost, our number 1, our starting catcher, and Avery Waddell. So lost some key components to the team, and they just kept fighting every day.
Yeah, those three you mentioned, those are 3 would-be starters. I mean, Krieger would be your number 1. Peyton Tanner's done great stepping in, but those are significant losses. I know every team maybe goes through injuries, but y'all had a lot to overcome there.
Yeah, we did, and Krieger is not a strikeout pitcher, but throws it right where she wants it and right where Brittany wants it, and she can get batters out. I will say this, though, Peyton, you talk about next person up when someone goes down. She really stepped it up whenever the ball was given to her, and had some good outings for us. And bullpen came through in a few situations as well. But Peyton really did the bulk of that, and certainly applaud her. She's a fun kid. If you watch her in the dugout, if you're able to at the games, if you were on the bus with us, she's the one that's getting the songs going, jumping up and dancing on the bus. She's pumped up. She's studying the bracket. She knows what's going on. And what a competitor she is. The ceiling is high for that kid. She's going to win a lot of games before she's done here.
Nice. Very good. All right. Headed to Austin, Texas, the host there. Wagner is there, and your first round opponent is Wisconsin. What have you learned about this Wisconsin team you'll see on Friday?
Yeah, big win against Oregon. Recently, they've been similar to us, up and down. They've lost some games and they won some games. They're don't run a ton, but they swing it pretty well. They've got a couple of 12, 15 home run kids in their lineup. They've got 3 righties, 2 lefties, decent bullpen. So, they're going to throw some different looks at us. But nothing we haven't seen lately. Of course, we've seen the best in the nation lately. So I think we're prepared for that. We took a look with the team at a few of their pitchers yesterday, the ones we think will be the chances of starting or going in early. We'll look a little bit more today and also take a look at their offense today. But, a good team, certainly a good team worthy of being there. And when they're hitting on all cylinders, they're pretty good team.
Historically, I think of Big Ten softball as very impressive, powerful through the years. Pac-12 used to be that way also. Is there a style of play, that the Big Ten has that Wisconsin kind of mirrors?
Well, I think they're more of, and it's kind of going across the country. There's more of a power game going on, more of a transition to I call it the baseball style of play, where you've seen me coach the short game for years and how much I love speed and putting pressure on defenses. Where rules changed a little bit and has weeded out a little bit of that short game. I don't like it as much. The fans like the home run, so I get that. So as we transition into more of a power game, you're seeing bigger numbers, livelier bats and balls, and tighter strike zones, quite honestly. With new technology, the game tracker, Yacker Tech, those that measure the strike zone and send out reports on how well they do, I think that's squeezing umpires a little bit to call tighter because they want to get better grades, and therefore there's more offense in the game. Certainly more long balls that are being hit. So I think they're kind of following that trend. They've traditionally been a strong conference, but they're adding, the Pac-12 schools like UCLA and Oregon into the Big Ten. Those are powerful teams. So just like us picking up Arizona State, and those schools that are really good. Utah didn't make it this year, but they were in the World Series about 3 years ago for us. I think they've increased their strength of conference as well.
How about Arizona State knocking off Texas Tech to win the Big 12 tournament?
Big. And they're capable. And Coach Hu was talking to someone yesterday. I overheard him talking about how he thinks they're the hottest team, or one of the hottest teams in the Big 12 right now. They started off rocky. They lost 2 or 3 to Arizona, the in-state rival. We didn't play them this year, but they have a pitcher, Brown, that is really good, Kenzie Brown. And, man, she just dominated a really good Texas Tech lineup. I mean, everybody knows Texas Tech has All-Americans across all through their lineup, and she threw a 2-hitter and didn't get the second hit until late in the game. So That's a phenomenal performance with the strike zones that we've talked about. To be able to do that against that lineup says a lot about what they're capable of doing. They're going to be a scary team going into postseason. I wouldn't want them in my bracket.
Yeah. And you're one of, I think it's 7 Big 12 schools headed into the NCAA tournament. That's good representation from the league, isn't it?
It is. I think we had 4 last year, and the number 3 team in Iowa State didn't even get in last year, So a lot of concern of why we didn't get more in last year. But I think this year we're number 2 strength of conference in the country behind the SEC. I think we're awarded appropriately for our level of play. There's some good teams in this conference and a lot of national championships. So we were sweating a little bit at the end. We weren't, believe it or not, we weren't the last 4 out, but we were knocking on the door. But when you take those 31 automatic qualifiers out, there's not a whole lot of spaces left. It helped us out a little bit with a couple of teams that were in the top 30 RPI that didn't have a 500 record, opened up some spaces for us and some other teams as well. So ended up getting in, I think, because of our strength of schedule, a little bit higher than we thought we were. I had us in that first four in, but I did have us going in. I was hoping I was right, and I'm just really happy that the kids got rewarded with that.
You're a bracketologist. Well done. You had it right. So it's a double elimination, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Wisconsin is your first game. Wagner and Texas, the other two teams there, obviously Texas hosting. Team you saw and played twice this year, a home and home with the Longhorns.
Yeah, number 2 seed and very deserving. They were ranked number 1 in the country off and on throughout the year in many polls. Very deserving. They have an unbelievable pitching staff, 5 deep, and can swing the bat. So we saw that firsthand, the home and home, and we've got to play a lot better if we get to them. But our focus is what's right in front of us. We've got to get through a very good, Wisconsin team first to get to them.
Very cool. Hey, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. And good luck this weekend.
Thank you, Johnny. Hey, great job last night, as always.
That was fun. That was very fun to be there. Thanks, Glenn. We'll see you.
Yep, take care.